How are you doing? I'm Sean. Just let me go over an overview I made for the opening of this video. On June 4th, I was playing a campaign on expert difficulty in the game Left 4 Dead 2, and I had a griefer who just went in and out of the lobby I was in, with multiple different names each time, just to incapacitate or kill everyone. This troll bragged about changing multiple names in the game chat but wasn't smart enough to clear his name history on Steam. That and he didn't know we could look up the players we played with. He entered my lobby at least 5 times because the same exact player would incapacitate everyone. This red bolt player acted like a player with poor English and bad aim. It was cringeworthy. It was pretty unnerving too when there was only 2 existing players, one of whom is me, a troll, and a new player that just entered. The new player incapacitated me after he saw me kill the troll. In the end, attitude wins and I gained the new player's trust real quick. I gave the new player my health kit because he was on black and white. Bracket, second incapacitation, which means he dies on his third one. Okay, now that I've gone over the overview, let's talk about the Reddit post I made that was removed by the moderators. From here on, there won't be scripts. Here is the post I made, I'll show it on the screen. It was removed for violating the witch hunting policy on Reddit. I'll get to that in a bit, but let's talk about the moderator message I got. This isn't the first time I made a video about Reddit where the user experience is so shit. I'm not surprised by it, but when this keeps happening to me, I just have to talk about it because that's what I do. I like to talk about things. It's not because my feelings were hurt. It's not because of injustice was done against me. I just want to talk about things because that's what I like to do. Here's the entire message, you can pause the video if you want. I'll be separating the screenshot because I have to focus on specific parts throughout this video. Before I made the post, I knew about the witch hunt policy that Reddit has. It's pretty stupid, but that's for another topic. Let's read the moderator's message. This is what I sent to him. I asked why my post was removed, I just want a clarification, and turns out I got more than what I expected. Like the second message you're seeing isn't even really a moderator feedback anymore, it's more like an opinionated message that was personally sent to me. Your post itself is harassment. Your stated intended purpose is to harass the person you think was briefing you. No, I did not. Here is the post I made, I'll show you again. And here is the comment section. This is the comment I made. You can read through it. This is basically what I read through in the overview at the beginning of this video. If you have basic reading comprehension skills, you can tell that what the moderator said is a blatant malicious misinterpretation of my comment or my post entirely. This is what online freaks like to do. They like to take things out of context. They like to misinterpret things so they have an excuse to attack someone. They don't care whether they're right or not. They don't care about the facts. They just like to attack people because they're toxic and because they're evil. You just feel justified in doing it because apparently this person wronged you in a video game. Yeah, this is a video game, and do you realize that this is also just a Reddit post? This is not a big deal, you know, I'm just talking about it. I went through the stages of grief in that post. Was I grieving too myself? Was I angry? Was I anxious? Was I attacking the person? No, I was not. I was just saying what happened because I'm just treating this like a commentary post. It's like a Facebook post essentially, but I'm doing it on Reddit, which is a really weird format, but it's something that I like to experiment with because you don't expect to see these posts on Reddit in general, except for specific dedicated subreddits. But let's not talk about that because I will be stretching out the video. We also recognize that your post can have a secondary effect for the names shown in your screenshot. Somehow I have a feeling that we wouldn't be having this conversation if your name or anything resembling it was also in that screenshot because you wouldn't have posted it. I'm not sure how much you would enjoy someone telling you it's okay for others to disparage your name on a public forum just because plenty of people have the name Haoto, especially seeing as how you have the name reserved on several social media platforms already. Oh no! My name is online and people are spreading lies about me? What am I going to do? What do you take me for? A coward? I have a lot of things to talk about this, but let me go through it one by one. First of all, yes, I'm not the only one with this name, but also, my name is actually not that popular if you try to search it up online. Yes, I've searched my own name. I have tried that before at least once. Let me look it up real quick, because I do remember a few notable persons with this exact same name as mine. There's Haoto Ichiya from Inazuma 11. And there's this Haoto who's a female guitarist. I think he's also the same nationality as me because I found her SoundCloud and it says that she's from Malaysia, which is quite a coincidence. And there's also another Haoto. This person goes by Studio Haoto. He or she makes anime fan art. Did you know that my name is actually somewhat ambiguous? Did you know that my name is actually unisex? Yeah, it sounds feminine even in Chinese, but it's unisex, just like the name Sam and Cow. These are the few people with the names Haoto that are somewhat popular that you can easily look up online on Google. But if someone writes Haoto did something bad, and for people to immediately assume that it's me, then wow, I'm quite famous if that's the case. Not only that, it's okay for people to assume that it's me because I can say that John did something bad, and who would you think of right away? John Cena? John Smith? John whatever? Like, it could be anyone, and it's okay for you to immediately think that it's me because my name is someone unique that the first person you could think of is the YouTuber Haoto. The argument I have against this is thought policing and also the difference between assumption and action. It's very different when you assume that it's this Haoto versus you write about, oh, this Haoto did it. You can express your opinion of, oh wait, is it that YouTuber? Anyway, it's okay for you to express opinions, but for you to make claims that it is me without proof or without constructive feedback, without properly making your statements in your claim, then yeah, you are irresponsible. But here's the thing, I am not responsible for what you say. You can do whatever you want with this piece of information. I have no control over you. You should only ever be responsible for yourself and not for others. I know this sounds crude. I don't mean it in a way that, oh, you shouldn't care about others, you shouldn't look after others, you shouldn't help others. That's not what I meant. What I meant is that there's just a lot of things that you can do that if it somehow affects someone, it is not your responsibility, and so it's not your fault. For example, if I criticize someone, and if that person gets upset and breaks something, is it my fault? No, it's not my fault. Like, that's a pretty stupid example, but the principle works the same. People talk about something, if people feel something, something happens, yeah, same principle. Now, to dive deeper a bit into self-responsibility, you are not obligated to help others. As heartless as it sounds, there's just a lot of things that you can't really control for others because it's really up for themselves to make the decision whether or not they want the help or not. And not just that, you should really look after yourself. Like, yeah, sure, you can look after others if it's your friends, if it's your families, but if you try to have the same treatment for strangers, that's also good. You shouldn't be judged for it, but you can also feel free to not do that because it's a stranger, or like even if it's your friend, if you just prioritize your own family, or if you're more selfish, you only prioritize yourself. This gets a bit complicated, so I'm going to move on. And let's not forget that this moderator most likely went through my social media profiles before or after he removed my posts. That is suspicious. You usually see that happen during gossips. I've never participated in gossips myself. It's just a story from my friend who was pulled into a gossip. He told me that he had friends who went through another person's social media profiles just to talk behind their backs. This is the same vibe I'm getting from this moderator. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with doing profile checks, but did you really have to look up who I was? Like I said at the beginning, I got more than what I expected. I didn't expect for a response like this when I sent a message to the moderators, but since I got it and I'm here making a video about it, this is quite juicy. One thing I forgot to mention is that the way the moderator phrased the message is victim blaming, even though I'm not really a victim. While there is courtesy, there is no consideration, there's no empathy towards my side of the story. He doesn't go, oh, I understand what you went through, but you shouldn't be doing this. If it was like that, this video would not have existed. However, you can clearly see that he went on offense against me. I mean, like, yeah, it's understandable if you don't sit right with this type of behavior, but at the same time, did you forget why I even made the post in the first place? Like, I made the post because there was a griefer, and now you're coming after me because I should have known better. Oh man, please tell me you're from New York or California. This would have made so much more sense, because if you knew better, you would not have made a post like this. You are really opinionated. You don't care about the reasons, you only care about the cause. Like, I don't even think that you're going to watch the entire video if you're ever going to make a response to me. Well, I am calling you out. I didn't specify anyone, so remember, it is your own responsibility if you choose to step out of the light. If tomorrow there were a version of your post with your name included in a screenshot accusing you of unsavory deeds, you would rightfully be up in arms demanding for it to be removed lest your public image be tarnished. No, I won't, because that goes against my own personal values, and that's free speech. Someone can spread lies about me online. All I have to do is just to respond to it if I choose to. Yes, there are moments where your reputation is damaged so much that your audience is either split or there will be newcomers or like onlookers looking into the situation and immediately come to the conclusion that I'm the bad person. But here's the thing, there will always be people on my side if I'm truly innocent, because they have the intelligence to not jump to conclusions and look into things. I almost forgot to mention that if someone accuses me of something, I can just easily respond, and there's also a lot of things that you don't really have to respond because it's just nonsense. But if it's like some serious accusation, I will respond appropriately. I wouldn't be on my knees saying that, please believe me, I am innocent. If I did that, wouldn't that just make me more suspicious? And like, that's just the wrong mentality that this moderator has against me. He made his own assumptions against me, but well, since this is a private message, this moderator didn't do anything wrong, just to be clear. But since I'm putting it out in public, and well, like even in the screenshot you can identify which moderator it was. Like, yeah, sure, you can go to their subreddit and try to pinpoint which moderator it is, but I don't encourage that, and you will achieve nothing from doing that. You also don't seem to understand that your action of making a post on Reddit is what griefers consider success. If they've griefed people to the point where they can get a post about themselves on Reddit or the Steam forums or anywhere else, they've gained the notoriety and attention they were seeking that will encourage them and others to continue griefing in the future. We don't name mass shooters on the news anymore for similar reasons. Here's where comparisons do not work here, because the context is so different between a griefer and a mass shooter. For a griefer, it's just griefing, it's nothing else. And this is also entirely on your own interpretation. I don't interpret this as a griefer's success, because I'm just talking about it. Think about this for a moment. I want to talk about something bad happened to me. Bad, in my opinion, or not just in my opinion, it's actually quite factual, because griefing in general is bad. And well, I showed you my example, so if you have enough brain cells to connect the dots here, something bad happened to me. Was it really that bad that's comparable to a mass shooter? No, but it was bad enough. Well, yeah, it doesn't even have to be bad enough for me to talk about it. Now, let me use your level of comparison. Let's say someone was raped, and it's bad, right? And that person wants to talk about it, but no, you can't talk about it because you would be calling him out, right? Yeah. On mine, no, you shouldn't do that, but since this moderator here is a mass shooter, as a comparison to a griefer online in a video game, let's just use his own structure. Let's just take his own comparison for a ride. You can accuse someone of rape online, and it's encouraged because we need to actually get to the bottom of this to see whether or not if the claim is true. But well, you know, it's the internet. They don't care if it's true or not. They just want to attack. And that's why this comparison doesn't work, because a griefer compared to a mass shooter, I've made a comparison of a Russian streamer being paid to do something bad to his girlfriend, which led to her dying, to an assassin, because, like, you know, it has the same principles. Is it the same scale? No, it's not, because one's a manslaughter and one's a premeditated murder. But in any case, like, the comparison here on the scale is quite similar when you think about it. A video game griefer to a mass shooter, it just varies too much. There's some similarity in the principles and circumstances, but really, there's not much that you could add up. Your post is not productive against griefers. It is not even a piece of entertainment, but rather just a screenshot of some easily manipulated text. It potentially harms innocence and encourages the very same griefers you say you're up against. You just threw an accusation at me, and I will prove to you that I didn't manipulate the evidence. Now, the accusation makes sense because I'm a content creator. I know how to manipulate video and images because, well, I'm an editor. However, with how I constructed this video, and now that I'm going to show you the evidence, it is still up to you whether or not you believe me. I'm going to do some cross-examinations so that the evidence makes sense to prove that I'm innocent. Here is the original screenshot I made from the Reddit post. I'm going to censor the griefer's Steam URL or Steam ID and the money I currently have in my account. And here is the second screenshot I used for the Reddit post, the one where my character is incapacitated. Now I'm going to censor the other players because they have nothing to do with this, even though they're technically witnesses. And if you think that this somehow goes against my argument, you can feel free to leave a comment in the YouTube comment section below. These two players, victims of the griefing, are innocent. They're not part of the problem, they're victims of the problem, and that's why they're most definitely not going to have their names changed after this match, and they still have the same name because I just checked it. So yeah, these two players, you can legitimately look them up on Steam, but as for this griefer, you can't look him up. Why? Because look at the date I took the screenshot in, at the bottom right corner. And look at the Reddit post I made. It's on June 10th. There's a time discrepancy between when I made the screenshot and between I made the Reddit post, which means that this guy has changed his name. You can now not find his profile on Steam. He already has a different name. If you type in the current main name he has on like right next to his profile picture, you won't be able to find him. Like there's only 8 Steam profiles with similar names, but they're not the griefer. Anyway, there's no way for you to confirm whether or not if you found the same exact Steam profile. So yeah, I did not dox him when he changes his name frequently, and you don't even know if it's the same exact person or not because I didn't show his Steam ID. There's no way you can confirm whether or not if it's the same person. I don't condone any form of harassment towards any entity mentioned in this video. Just to be clear, this also goes back to talking about self-responsibility. I am not responsible for bad actors. This is the argument for people who are against free speech have, because you cannot talk about things because if you talk about it, bad things will happen. Do you know how stupid that mentality is? How dangerous of a precedent that would set? And it's even more ironic too, since I'm not American and I'm complaining about free speech on an American platform. And while I'm obviously aware that it's been infiltrated by 3-letter agencies, but again, that's for another topic. And yeah, that's about it. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Subscribe if you're interested to stay tuned for more of my content, and I'll see you next time. I'm talking much slower today because of a mouth injury. Anyway, take care.